Hi, I'm Moné Swann, and I'm here with my co-host,
Alicia Alcaino.
and we are here to do something completely different, completely off the cuff, coming off the top of our heads, because there has been a cacophony of things that have happened, and what we want you to understand is what we experienced and what a lot of our beneficiaries experienced as well. And most people don't understand. They think the system is somewhat near flawless, which is not correct. There's issues with carriers, with beneficiaries, with agents, with agencies, with FMOs. And hopefully, our conversation today is going to give you better insight as to what a normal AEP looks like and why we need to improve it. Alicia?
We're going to give you an insight on what happens behind the scenes today after annual enrollment period. But through it, we encountered so many bumps on the road. It was a bit crazy, not just on our side, but as well as the Medicare recipients. And that includes, from our point of view, from your point of view, as well as the technical issues. So let's put your seatbelt on and let's ride it together.
Let's dive in. I think, I've been doing this for many, many years, and Alicia has well, but I will tell you, when you use the word disruption, you are just on the surface of what happened this past AEP. Alicia, would you agree?
Oh my goodness. It was just, I think we were in for the first 3 days of annual enrollment period, and we're getting one email after another one from the carriers themselves, the insurance companies, telling us, oh, this is going to be non-commissionable. This is going to be less plans in this area. This state doesn't have much. And we're going, what's going on?
Yeah, that was disruption with the big D, right? Because what's happening is not only are beneficiaries not getting the coverage that they need, plans were just fading into oblivion. Then you've got the agents who are selling plans and are already prepared what to do. And the carrier's saying, oh, guess what? We're not going to pay you for that. Oh, but that's okay, right? It's okay, right? You do it because you love people. Yeah, we love people, but individually, we're not nonprofits. People have families to take care of, and so it's not coming from the beneficiaries. It's coming from the carriers who get paid by who? The federal government, right? So this is a family, whether we want to admit it or not. Agents, carriers, beneficiaries need to work together. Let's not leave out the providers who've also get to vote, right, Alicia?
Absolutely. I was shocked when I was informed a certain state on the, let's call it central part of the country, multiple companies walk away from several counties and there were no plans available to them. What do? What do you say to your clients? And what position they put you in? Because again, we're trying to help everybody, not just our families.
Yeah.
Don't they have families as well that they want to take care of them? So why are they doing that to them?
It's all unfortunately about profitability, because even here in California, I was trying to help some people in Northern California and they had no plans, and so you want the beneficiary to know that it's not your fault, right? You don't have control over what the carrier does. And at the same time, you feel so bad. You just want to figure out, well, what can we do? Right now, you only have a certain period of time to play in this arena. AEP doesn't last forever. So it is contingent upon the agent to do their due diligence even before they pick up the phone. And if you're like us, Alicia, in 44 states, that's a lot of work you've got to do for your agents before they get started, because you don't want to have a bad relationship with them because you're telling them, oh, these are good plans. Make sure you are able to be appointed and sell. And then you've got to go all of this certification, right, to get it done, just to go in and find out those same plans that you had to spend hours to get certified are not even available any longer.
Exactly. Some carriers make you study for weeks before annual enrollment kicks in. I studied one case, and I'm not going to name him, okay, a very dear Medicare recipient. And I drove to see him for an hour and 45 minutes, one way. I suggested some plans. By the time I got back home, I say, I don't think so. Give me a couple more days to find the right plan for your needs and for your budget. As I was studying, analyzing some plans, what happened? The plans that I was proposing to him, which I'm thinking they're the best for him, he can afford them, they became non-commissionable plans. What does that mean? All the hours and time that I put in, I wasn't going to get paid. So I did tell him. We met again, and I said, do you think you'll be open to some other plans available in your area that will give you perhaps a little bit more than the ones that I first proposed?
Maybe, maybe not.
So thanks to the communication, open communication and transparency with our Medicare recipients, we're able to locate the best possible plans for them, knowing that during the annual enrollment period, things were changing by the hour. And we're finding out surprises that we weren't expecting. Carriers that were not going to pay us our commission. And it's still, because we love serving our seniors, we decided, okay, we'll transition this journey together. But let's be frank here. Let's be very transparent. A lot of craziness happened, and many agents and many recipients were affected by it. This is just the first phase, the annual enrollment period. Moné?
Well, and I just want to elaborate a little bit on that, because when you talk about non-commissionable, one of the big talking points was that agents are getting all this money to sign people up. Well, let me ask you this. If you are in a salary position and you came in one day and your management came down and said, oh, well, it's okay, we're not going to pay you for the next few days, you'd be upset. You'd really be upset, because you probably earmarked that money to be spent on something. You also say you're getting paid time for money. You also say you're getting paid for a skill that you have. And then all of a sudden, the carrier just tells you, hey, well, we've just decided it's not profitable to be in that zip code. Or we've just decided that, yeah, we'll go ahead and let people sign up on Medicare.gov. And so you can just tell them to go that way. And that way everything is okay. Well, no, not really. Because we got our certifications to be able to sell those plans. And so if you want to make a plan change, Alicia, I think they should do it at the end of AEP for the next one. Or they need to let us know before we go in and put the time in to learn their product. So that's number one. Number two, should we get paid for what we do? As agents, I think we should. I don't think the beneficiary should have to pay for it. Why? Because they've already done their time. They ought to do everything they possibly can, which then says, well, carrier, are you going to uphold your part of the bargain? Well, what does that mean? Well, I got into a plan last year because I'm getting free gym memberships and grocery cards and blah, blah, blah. And now all of that's going away, but we don't hear that being advertised, right? So that's another part of the puzzle. Then let's say that you're an agent in a call center. Do you have the time to do your due diligence when you're on the clock? And their expectations as to how many you're going to enroll? It becomes a very cold heart business. And so the reason we're having this conversation is to explain to you why it's important to come to people that are brokers, that are independent agents, over an agent works for the carrier, because they're only going to tell you what the carrier has told them to tell you, okay, about their specific company. And if you go to a call center, those people are timed as to how far and how long they can be on that call with you. So if that plan disappears, they got to find another plan real quick. What does that mean? Well, they can't do a deep dive. Sometimes they don't ask about prescriptions. Sometimes they don't ask if you're in the network. Sometimes they don't ask you anything except what's your beneficiary card number. And that should not be the way business is done. But then you ask, well, why are there so many challenges? And I'm going to say number one is lack of communication. What do you think, Alicia?
I totally agree, 200%.
I think there would not be so much opposition if everybody understood what the other party is dealing with. And I think there should be some type of regulation that's national over all the states for licensed agents. Not this state's doing their little thing and this state's doing their little thing. And one, you got to live in this state. And another one, you got to designate somebody to live in the state to sign it. It is way too complicated, and it doesn't need to be. We're there to help, and we're there to help people pay their bills, and we're also there to help agents pay their bills. It should be mutually accepted and mutually beneficial, but I don't see that happening because of limited options and lack of personalization based on lack of time to get it done.
Yep, I have an example. I have a recipient in California, and he says, I'm getting this amount of money on my over-the-counter card, the prepaid card, and I want the same or more. The same exact plan was giving him $10 less. When everything, as we know, is going up.
Yeah.
As we all know, we're paying more for eggs, right? We're paying more. Inflation, the famous inflation word.
Yeah.
Exactly. So was he happy when I told him that? Of course he wasn't. And I say, would you be open to consider any other plans than the one that you have? So I can get you an over-the-counter prepaid card that will give you what you're looking for. He was hesitant at the beginning, but when I explained all the in and outs, the pros and the cons, he agreed, even though he wanted so much to go with a specific carrier.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad that seniors have to count their pennies these days to be able to afford their medications, to be able to afford their groceries. So who is looking out for you? We are, the brokers.
And senior advocates, because that's what we are. We fill two positions. So you don't have to call and say, well, I don't know who sold me. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I talked to seniors. They didn't know who they talked to. They didn't know what plan they're in. They had gotten to the point where they were getting 15, 20 calls a day. And by the time you call to really help them, they are ferocious, okay? They want to grab you and choke you. And you're like, you don't even know me. And I'm so sorry that all these other people have harassed you. Right? And so unfortunately, what happens is the insurance industry tries to, I guess the best way of explaining it is over-regulate in areas that if somebody's bad, they're bad regardless, right? There's not a system in the world that cannot be hacked. We've seen that in the banking industry and everything else. So what happens are the people that are trying to do the right thing have so much compliance that by the time they get there to do something or help something, all the bad people have already called the person 15 times. They don't want to answer. They're not in the right program. They don't know who they talk to. All they know is don't give out your social security card number. But then somebody says, oh, that's okay. They're in their 70s and 80s. They don't know who to trust. And so if you happen to call them at the time where they are just completely vulnerable, oh, you'll get that cell. But you didn't do them any favors. And the seniors don't know why you're doing that. Well, I'm finding out I got plans I can't sell. And I'm also finding out there's no plans in your area. And I'm getting beat up on both sides between the carrier and the beneficiary. And we're here to help both. That's what Bivix is here. The reasons we're licensed is because we want to make sure the carrier has our 100% support. And we want to make sure that the beneficiaries have our 100% support. We give out our names, our telephone numbers, our direct phone numbers, cell phone numbers, and everything else, so that you have, and you can go and tell your friends, I've got a personalized agent. What about you? Because there's times you're going to need them. Some agents are only here for enrollment. So what happens 2 months from now? What happens 2 weeks from now? They're not there. Right, Alicia?
Oh, absolutely. I have wonderful seniors that I'm so proud and honored to serve. And when they call me, Alicia, I just got my card. Can we activate it together? Absolutely. Let's do it. And we do a three-way call. Those are the people that I will visit for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Here in the state of Massachusetts, in the state of New Hampshire, where I'm nearby. And if I could visit you all, I will do it. But we can't. Physically, we cannot. But I can tell you this, we welcome everybody to join our Security 65 Health Plans community, where you can find the support that you need, meditation that will help you every single day. We can introduce you to other adults, other seniors who have struggled and face the same challenges that you have, not just during annual enrollment period, but through life. And you can create support groups among yourselves and don't feel isolated, because many of you are. So reach out to us, sign up, enroll in Secure 65. It's free.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you this, one of the major obstacles that we had during open enrollment are seniors that don't know how to use technology. They don't know how to use technology, and they're putting their health on the line because they don't know. So being in a community and having people that will help you with your scope of appointment, right? Not all carriers had it where you could do it on the phone. So you're talking about mailing them or sending it to somebody else's email. And, it was challenging getting a permission to contact. And you tell the carrier, well, they don't have an email. Well, then we can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? This is their only opportunity. Well, they'll have to find something. No. That's your responsibility. You are offering a plan. Then we need to hear from you of options for people who don't have emails, or people that have cell phones but don't have text messaging on it, right? Or don't want to text message. Lizzie, how many times did I tell you I would talk to a senior and say, oh, I'm old school, girl. I'm old school. I don't do that texting. But I need to look for this, but I don't do it. But you need health insurance. The carrier, open communication. If you want a plan, make sure that people that are going into it, becoming 65, understand that there are only a few ways to get the compliance aspect done. But unfortunately, the compliance aspect doesn't stop anything from happening. Have you seen it happen?
Nope.
It doesn't stop anything, because people that are bad actors are going to be bad actors. And the people that care, you don't have to have all the regulation. You don't. You don't have to come and tell me how to do it. You don't have to tell Alicia. You don't have to tell any of our agents what's the difference between right and wrong. But it's understanding, if you're in with a community like Secure 65 Health Plans, you've got people there you can call and say, hey, I don't understand this. Or you know what? I didn't qualify for anything, but I need it. How do I get it? Oh, we're going to tell you every free service, from transportation to groceries to drug plans. We will show you how to maximize your dollar, because that's what we're there for. We're not insurance agents, Medicare agents. Our agency is based as a brokerage for holistic thinking, holistic living your best life after 65. And that's our mission. We are so compelled to getting that mission out there to everyone, so that they understand you don't have to do it alone. And you should never, ever enroll in any type of Medicare or ACA or anything with a stranger. Not when there's companies like us out there who are willing to do the work with you. And I'm just going to tell one more little short story, Lisa. I'm going to send it back to you. But there is an individual, has a supplement plan, but for this year he's doing a PDP, and he didn't really know how it worked. And the thing that was so funny, he was like, well, could you call my doctor to make sure he had one prescription that needed an exception, okay? Wasn't covered. And so I said, sure, I'll call. Really? Nobody's ever done that. And I called the doctor's office, and he says, well, who are you? And I tell him who I am, and who's the client. And I tell him who the client is. And he goes, okay, so and why are you calling? Oh, because I'm his personal agent. What? He's got a personal agent? And you guys, it might sound like minimal things, but it creates respect, right? And legitimacy when not only can you call your doctor, but you can have one of us call and make sure things are done right. Especially Alicia sitting on the phone with the carrier.
Oh, Lord.
That's an experience.
Yes. Yes,
that
it
no
is.
one should have to deal with. No one. But as long as you allow seniors, you allow call centers to be in existence, you will never get the personalized, bespoke type of treatment that you deserve. You deserve it. And that's why we do what we do, because we understand there are gaps in coverage, there are gaps in communication, there are gaps in transparency. And the only way those gaps are going to be fulfilled, closed up, covered, bridged, whatever you want to call it, is through communication. And right now, there's not enough communication amongst all the parties that sit at the table. The agents don't get a chance to talk. The beneficiaries don't get a chance to talk. The carriers don't talk. When we talk about board of directors with the providers, they don't talk. We don't have one system where we all sit down successfully. Now, there are going to people who are going to say, oh, yeah, no, we have associations. And most agents don't belong to associations, just so that you know, right? Because they don't have the money to pay the membership fee. So they're like, ooh, I hope you work well for me. We need to make it open communication for all parties without fees. Without fees. Why? Because that's the one thing we're all coming together for. And so when we talk about Secure 65 health plans and Vivix Wealth and insurance solutions and being across the country, we wanted you to get a bird's eye view of the things you didn't know and the things you should know and how you can overcome those obstacles. Right, Alicia?
Yes. And speaking of obstacles, many of our senior advocates kept saying it over and over again. We have to call the pharmacies. We need to find out their medication because they don't know the names of the medication or they cannot read those little labels. So I want to thank you, all of us, for trusting us in calling your pharmacist. Thank you to those caregivers who jump on the phones with the recipients as well and help them out during our recording calls. It's thanks to the big community that we have that we were able to submit those applications. But don't forget, we're here to help you, to guide you through the process. We're not forcing anybody to buy anything. I have a case of a lady who she became enchanted by the conversation. And she said, well, would you be my friend even if I don't buy, even if you don't submit an application? And I said, of course. She's right here in my local neighborhood. So I will be seeing you for Christmas as well. So those are the type of services that we provide because we're very transparent in what we do. And with that in mind, there are more things that you should know. Many obstacles that we have found, from misinformation to plan disenrollment. I didn't sign up for that plan in October. Who did this for me? You're the only one who's been talking with me. So we are always looking out in your best interest. Moné?
And we will continue. But this conversation is for a specific niche. That niche are seniors that understand the importance of relationship, importance of having somebody who is a senior advocate, importance of having somebody who cares. Being who we are speaks volumes. We're so different from everybody else out there. If you're looking for an agent, if you're looking for a broker, if you're looking for fair treatment, if you're looking for somebody who will listen, someone who will communicate what's going on until you get it without getting anxious, if you're looking for somebody who wants to build a community with you and your family, if you're looking for somebody who wants to make sure the rest of your life is the best of your life, then you should call us. We're getting ready to go into open enrollment period, which starts in January. During that time, if you don't know what plan you're in, we've seen that a lot. If you don't know who your agent is, if you don't know if you're on Medicare and or Medicaid, we've seen that. If you can't remember, but you've got a lot of documentation and you don't want to go through it, you need to give us a call. Call us at 833-300-4968. We are across the country. So you don't have to worry about, well, will we ever meet them? I'm going to be going to Massachusetts and meet one of my clients that I just enrolled over AEP. And it was delightful. It was delightful to see some of the seniors who are bedridden, those who can't get out and see their families, or even worse, don't have any families. You might only have a couple of calls a year, and that might be during enrollment. Let us show you how to live your best life. We've got so many other value propositions, from self-defense classes to dancing. You know, there's this wonderful gentleman named Chester Whitmore who is known around the world for teaching tap. And he has said that not only will he help with dance, but he will also help with self-defense. He's also a master in, I think, karate and judo, and he's just multi-talented. But being able to see things from a different perspective is what we want everyone to understand. We want you to see the agent's view. We want you to see the carrier's view. We want you to see the senior's view. We want you to see what Medicare.gov and CMS, what that looks like from their perspective. Because when we can really have communication that's authentic, all parties will work together. We're really all the same. And so once you can embrace that and embrace a beautiful future, seeing it, knowing it can happen, you'll understand what we're saying we hope will be true for all. But it has to start with you, and it starts with us, and both of us are in the game right now. So reach out to us again at 833-300-4968, and let's start a community of hope where you live. Alicia?
Thank you, Moné. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm Alicia Alcaino, and remember, we're here every step of the way to serve you and your local communities. Just reach out to us.
Come see us every Thursday on Secure 65 Health Plans on YouTube at 11 o'clock PCH or PST, Pacific Standard Time. 1 o'clock Central and 2 o'clock Eastern. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So don't hate on me. I'm see you too. But we love you. We're there to help you. We embrace you. We're here also to see you evolve in love, happiness, and joy. So I'm Moné Swann. Stay golden. Bye.
Bye for now.